obsession.
Right.
This time. That time.
Oh, I want to be your obsession. I love that song.
I do too.
Hakuna Mahala, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I'm thanking everybody now, even though it's just started, for listening to this week's episode of The Good Podcast. I have my gorgeous and lovely friend, talented, psychic, intuitive Suzanne Krupp here with me today.
Thank you, Ross.
You're welcome.
That's so sweet
Thank
of
you.
you.
It's so exciting. And we're going to be talking today about a lot of different things. The main subject is a subject that we've been talking about a lot lately, which is about peace and intention and, you know, what it is that we think and those things that we put out into the world. So I see we've got a bunch of people on. I just want to, psychics do still exist. Yes, see, this is just what I was going to say, is I want everyone to be aware that I have a very hard time looking at the
What is that?
looking at the comments here on the right.
Psychics
I'm
still
gonna
exist.
my intention today is to be conscientious of that, and so thank you so much for joining us, everybody. We see we've got Amanda on here, and Ian's on here, Sean's on here, Jason's on here, Travis is on here.
Good morning, everybody.
So thank you, Travis. Yes, I've known Suzanne for several years.
Yes.
And I'm trying to find her a man. So if anybody's interested, we want to do that. See, and then here, these hands that are like Mahala, we'll call those our Mahala hands. That means that they're giving us props. It's like when you see someone and you go like that, you know, like Aaron and I do when we see each other with our chests. That's what Aaron and I do. We just bump each other's chests.
We don't have to do that, do we?
No, I'd bump into your boobies. So anyways, but happy Friday, everybody. I do just want to quickly touch on, I just got done finishing up, for those of you who don't know, I am the lifestyle expert for Fox Television here locally, the affiliate. I just got done covering Christmas breads, which has nothing to do with peace, but kind of has something to do with peace. And so I made an eggnog bread, and then I made this, I took cinnamon rolls and made them into a shape of a Christmas tree. It was super, super easy stuff. But if you want to check those out, you can go to fox9.com. And you'll be able to find out underneath, you know, fox9.com/morning. You'll be able to find a lot of my video content on there. And starting next... Oh, thank you, Jason. See, it took me... I don't know how long you did that, but thank you, Jason. My glasses, this is my trademark. These are actually the glasses that Harry Carey wore. They're called the Goliath 2. And I got them through Frames Direct, which was super great. All those little promos, I don't get paid to say any of that, just so you know. But... regardless, you can go on to fox9.com/morning to check out most of my video content from the show. And then starting this Tuesday, this coming Wednesday, which I'm very excited about, I'm going to be on WGN television out of Chicago. So this means I'm like Sally Fields. You love me. You really love me. I
think it's really exciting.
I'm grateful. Seriously, I'm so grateful because I'm a total. I don't think I'm really that mouthy, but. Look,
yeah,
Suzanne's
mouthy.
Crying because she's so happy for me. You know, I've always felt like I was an outcast. So the fact that good things are happening to me after, you know, this whole journey, and
you deserve it.
You know, honestly, it's very humbling. So thank you. I don't want to talk about it because I'm actually going to start crying. I know, like I've been told. I don't watch football. I don't really watch much TV at all, but I've told that you have to be very resilient to be a Vikings fan. So this is what I'm told. Are you a Vikings fan, Aaron?
Oh,
Yeah. So everybody, my producer, the ever handsome Aaron, is over here. And for all of our listeners, there's his hand. Even his hands are good looking.
And I have a grill for him.
Exactly, but we are going to, people have been wanting to see what he looks like, so I will get that posted on the Facebook page today. But let's talk about peace. You know, Suzanne and I do a lot of, you know, what I love about my relationship with her is that we talk a lot about, you know, the universe and how we're all tied together. And I've been coming to that realization. I never thought about it until probably about the beginning of the year is when you and I really started talking about things like this, and recognizing that our actions and our thoughts, the things that we think It's kind of like when I'll use this as an example because I have a tendency if someone looks at me the wrong way. I don't do this anymore, but this used to be habit for me. If someone looked at me the wrong way or would criticize me and criticize in just even a regular way, I would instantly start thinking negative things about myself, which I began to recognize that by me, thinking those negative thoughts would then therefore put that out into the universe, and those things would manifest themselves. I would, go into this downward spiral, and it wasn't a wonder. It's not a wonder to me anymore, at least. Why?
But it's true. You create your own reality.
Right. You create exactly. You're creating your own reality. And that also ties itself into what we think about other people too. Right. It's these people that say irritate us or do things, differently than we do. And you and I had this discussion just last week, because I was trying to figure out someone's crazy. And I really was just trying to figure it out and through our discussion, we were coming to the realization that, it's a good thing that we're all so different.
We're all so different, but we're all the same, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why we have to accept each other as we're all part of the same universe. We have to accept each other as we are because we're all here to work together.
Right, because we're all connected.
We're all
connected.
And
our ultimate goal in working together is
peace on earth.
Right, and love.
And love.
Isn't it?
Yep. And love is the connection to the other side.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
And we're connected to them too, and they're helping us.
Right.
And I think that now people need to really understand this because it's more important than ever what's going on in the world this time of the year, that we need to start thinking peace and being more peaceful. If we don't get along with someone, instead of arguing with them, walk away. You know what I mean? Agree to disagree.
And that's okay.
And then it's okay. It is okay. Just as long as we stay peaceful and we stay connected. And we need to agree that everybody is different and we're not always going to get along, but we're going to still accept each other.
Right. Because I had said in my podcast last week about how it's okay to hate. And Suzanne, I'm watching the look on her face on the video camera, because Kirsten and I get a call from Suzanne saying, in her very Minnesota way, I need to tell you something. And then she's like, it's not okay to hate. Which is funny. And to me, it, and through us discussing it a little bit further, I clarified with her, no, it's not okay to hate someone. But my point in talking about that it's okay to hate is the fact that hate is a natural emotion. It's something we all feel from time to time. And so own it, claim it, understand it. But then the point is to get behind it and begin to ask yourself, well, why do I feel this way about this? Like, what is it about myself? What's going on with me that makes me dislike this person? And it's really more just people. And begin to understand, the why behind it. So then that way you can move forward from it. Hate keeps you stuck in a situation. Am I not right?
Yes, it keeps you stuck. It keeps anger in your body. It makes you sick.
Right.
It causes all the wars. I mean, we can't accept people the way they are or their religion. Well, on the other side, really, there's no religion anyways. But, I mean, the big fight here on earth is really about religion. And, and then it gets smaller after that. You're eating my pizza or,
Right. And do you think that that's coming down to a lack of, is it lack of self-esteem that causes those smaller things? I'm analyzing in my head right now, like my dislike of someone, and I'm thinking, well, they get different opportunities than I do, and they're friends with certain people. But then the reality is that's just life. Life hands opportunities to others that you don't get, and you have to be a good steward.
For them.
Right.
Yeah. But it's kind of about intent too.
But you just said something though that I think we've all heard before, but it really just hit me about being happy for someone.
Yeah, you have to be happy for other people. I mean, I get excited when something good happens. I always get excited when I hear stuff about you. And
well, you should.
And, I mean, that's what the world is about. You don't get angry because someone else is successful. You're happy for them.
I think when you're working, I can speak from personal experience. I think when you're working really, really hard. Thank you, Jason. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic day. And I see you're in Phoenix, by the way, and Suzanne and I were just talking about that. I need to get to Phoenix. I've heard it's terribly hot, and I'm a true Scandinavian. I don't like the heat very well. So, but
yes, I used to
have a
live
fantastic day. Have a joyous, if we don't talk to you any other time,
Hello.
wishing you much success in your real estate business in the future. So take care. Bye. Anyway, but I think that has hit home for me at this very moment because I have to begin to do that. I have to begin to just look at situations like that and not get angry or work on the level that I get angry when certain people get opportunities that I wish I was getting to help, my business. It's not, and to me, it's more, and I'll just speak from a personal perspective. It's not about feeding my ego. It's about feeding myself. Mm-hmm. Like literally, it's about putting food on my table.
Right.
It's about keeping a roof over my head.
Right.
That's why I get angry because I'm thinking I'm working my ass off, and then you look and then you see other people getting opportunities that you're not getting and they're doing fine. It's like, well, why can't some of that roll off onto me? And I know that, I'm the black sheep and the mouthy one and that kind of a thing. But still, I still want to be accepted. I want to be loved.
You are loved.
I know, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I know what you're saying. But, you write your life before you come in and you write your issues that you have and what you have to work through. And you're just working through your issues to get where you're supposed to be. And sometimes you just have to realize where I am is okay. It's okay for now. I know you're looking at me like...
I'm listening to you. I'm listening. I'm marinating in that.
I mean, you have to compare yourself to people that don't have homes or people that are, being tortured or, life could be so much worse. You have to realize, wow, look at we're here.
That's true.
And
That's true.
So, it can always be worse.
You could be getting waterboarded at this very moment. And
Exactly.
I'm not joking about that when I say that.
I know. I mean, there's just so many horrible things in the world.
You could have somebody cutting your hands off right now because you live in South Africa or wherever that is that they do that shit.
Yeah, you just have to be grateful really for what you have and happy for people that have more than you. And a lot of times the people that have more are not happier. And I know that as a fact.
I know a lot of that has been my experience with most of my friends that are well off is I would much rather have my life than theirs.
There are a lot of other issues that come with that. And so, you just have to be happy.
I'd be a very good steward with a lot of money.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
I'd even pay for Aaron's Uber if he called me and asked me to do it for him. So let's discuss something regarding 9/11. This is a subject that's very close to your heart.
Very close. Very close.
Suzanne and I have talked about 9/11 many times. And why don't you explain, your experience behind post 9/11? How about that?
Post 9/11. Okay.
Well, what you've come to realize about 9/11. Is that a better way a better way for me to say it?
Yes.
I don't want to,
I will tell you.
I don't want to, shoot your load before you do.
I'll tell you what happened to me. I started getting these abilities about maybe 2 years before 9/11, somewhere around there, and I couldn't figure out why I was getting these abilities. And I realized...
And what abilities were these? You need to be. You have to kind of dummy this down a little bit. Started seeing
dead people. They were talking to me. Started hearing stuff about people, and I couldn't figure out why at my age I would get this. And I just got this feeling like there's a reason. There's a reason. One day I was getting ready for work, putting my pantyhose on, and I heard in my head, "Turn the TV on." So I turned the TV on, and there's Katie Couric, and she's saying we have to break away. And I saw a plane hit one of the towers, and I was thinking, oh my God. And then I saw the second plane hit, and I heard in my head, this is why you have these abilities now. Took my pantyhose off, got back into bed. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And
That's
I thought,
crazy.
wow, I'm in Minneapolis. What do I have to do with New York? That's
Right.
like the craziest thing ever.
Right.
And then the next day, a woman named Kim Chukalas came into my office and she said, I'm from Stanley, North Dakota. And I have a good friend that I grew up with that was in the tower, and her parents are worried that she passed away. And right away, Annie showed up. Sorry, I get emotional about this, but she showed up in my head, and I was looking down on thousands of people. And usually I'm kind of looking this way at them, but there were just so many people that I was looking down at them. And I saw Annie, and I described her, and they were celebrating. And I said, "Why are you celebrating?" And she said, "Because we got done what we needed to get done."
Oh.
And I said, "What was that?" And she said, 50 years from now, there isn't going to be any road rage or killings in the schools. It's going to be like the 50s again, where everybody knows their neighbors. Everybody who dies on this day needed to die to make the difference it's going to make.
Wow.
And I ended up doing reading for her parents, and then my name got around, and I ended up doing another reading for a family whose son passed away. His name was Wells Crowthers, and they call him the man in the red bandana. And he
Okay.
went in and he could have gotten out of the towers. He saved 12 people. I think he saved 18. And when I did a reading for his mother, he came through and said, "We died for peace. Peace starts with the children." And then I believe it was 11 years from there, I got a call from Allison saying that got a, oh, I'm sorry, I can't think of it. Well, they had a donation for
A grant.
a grant, thank you, for I think it was like $250,000 from the Fitzer
Wow.
Foundation to start teaching peace in the public schools.
Wow. So
Yeah.
it's all about peace.
It's all about peace. It's all about peace.
It's hard to imagine that lifestyle of being back in the 50s. You know?
When they say that lifestyle, what they're talking about is that people, the technology isn't what it is today. So people actually got out, knew their neighbors, knew people. Like
Right, we were
today,
connected. We were actually connected.
like nowadays it's computer. Everybody kind of stays. People are not connected, and they
Well,
don't
look at
feel
Aaron
the
over
love. Poor guy.
So, so in essence, you believe that, from what you've heard, that 9/11 ultimately there was a bigger point behind of it. It wasn't,
There was a
it wasn't
purpose.
President Bush staging something. As I'm joking when I say that.
No.
There really was a point and a purpose behind why that happened. Because
Yes.
tragedy, believe it or not, people, tragedy happens for reasons at times. Or do you think tragedy happens always for a
You know
reason?
what they told me? They said all the wars and all the violence in the world is here to teach us about peace. Everybody who's died in violence is here to teach us about peace. And eventually we'll get there. But they told me it was going to get worse before it got better, and that's exactly what's happening.
It is. Oh my God. I can't believe all the mass shootings that happen. And we've become so desensitive to it, or desensitized to it, that, there have been more shootings that have happened in in the United States than there have been days in the year.
I know.
Which is insane.
Yeah, and they said there won't be any more road rage or killings in schools.
Well, then I'm going to be dead at that point because I get road rage very easily.
But it's something, like, I've had to really work on that because I noticed that I had some road rage, and I thought, wow, this is what they're talking about, Suzanne. You better be careful. And even now when I get angry at people, I just kind of step away, or I realize that person thought my intent was different than it really was.
Yes. Oh my God. That is so true.
Yeah. They think
And perception is reality.
perception is reality.
So
Right.
you can't, when someone gets upset with you and it's so off base,
Mm-hmm.
I used to take that very personal, and be like, oh my God, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. This is what I was trying to say. And yet the reality is that that's their filter. That's their bullshit. That's their life. And I'm using all those terms because sometimes it is their bullshit. Sometimes it's just their filter. It's the way that they see things.
They think about themselves.
Yes, they literally, it's like they're hearing you through them, not through you.
Right, exactly.
Does that make any sense to you guys? Like, you can't change how, when someone comes at you, because at least for me, I get that regularly, people mistaking something that I've said. And you have to kind of begin to recognize that that's coming from their place.
Right. Exactly.
And I'll apologize. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying, "Oh, I'm sorry that you and I forget because I try to be very careful about how I respond to that. But I am sorry that their perception is that I was saying something mean, but I wasn't. And you do have to check your intent though sometimes, because sometimes you do purposefully mean to say something mean.
Right. But a lot of times, so many times, people are misunderstood why they do something.
And then that starts wars.
They try and help somebody, and the person takes it wrong. And it's usually because the person's thinking badly about themselves. They're saying this to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And so I guess we need to understand that on both ends, when we take something wrong from somebody or we give it to them and we have to understand how they're taking it wrong.
Exactly. I mean, it's the same. That same concept to me is what I also apply to, say, when you're going to a job interview. When you're really nervous, you really want the job, or whatever opportunity it is. Say you're going to meet with a new client. You're trying to get a new client, and then for some reason that doesn't work. It doesn't end up coming to fruition. Well, you have to understand that there's two sides. That meeting, that interaction has two different pieces to it, and sometimes that other person isn't where they need to be. The universe is bringing the two of you together for that opportunity. But you may be ready for it, but maybe through, maybe that person had road rage that morning, or maybe that person talked to their mom the day before, and they're in some funky mood.
That's so right.
And that doesn't work. It's not, you can't take that personally as being you. You have to understand that it's like a puzzle piece, and both of those pieces have to come together.
Exactly.
And if something happens on that other side, that's not you. Check your intention. I'm not saying that it's never you. Check your intention and check how you handled yourself. You have to make sure when you're going into, and I think that applies to everyday things, but for the most part, especially those bigger things in life, make sure that when you're going in, that your intention is there. And that your reason for doing whatever it is that's going to move you forward is there, and it's in the right place. But don't look at it like it's over, because it's not over if it doesn't happen. Recognize that if the universe wants that to happen, it's going to take this other piece that wasn't ready for whatever reason, because it's not only testing you, the universe is testing that other person too. And maybe testing isn't the right word, but it's bringing you that opportunity to grow and to move forward. Does that sound better?
Yes, and I think and I think it's so much of it has to do with what's going on in your head. If you feel good today and you feel, you know what I mean?
Right. Because I can be in a great mood. I'm not joking. I can be in a fantastic mood. But if I see my mom calling, even if I don't pick up the phone, I'm in a shitty mood because I'm thinking about all the crap that, the shitstorm that's going to be coming, if I'm talking to her. But my point to that is that, especially people like myself who are creative, or you really want, to develop something, so to speak, or you really want a career change, or, you feel that the universe is pulling you in a particular direction. And then you have this meeting that in your mind, and in all for intents and purposes, is going to help you move forward in that direction. Recognize, because this has been a lesson I personally have had to learn, is that you have to recognize that even though that piece didn't work, know that the universe will then circle around, and sometimes that takes a little bit of time. The universe will circle it around, and it will bring you another piece.
If your intent is right, and if
it's
really
got to be
want
right. It's totally got to be right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to be doing it for the right reasons.
And I was going to tell you about road rage. And I think we talked about this. You don't know what that person has been through that day. maybe they just lost a parent, or
I don't know.
maybe
Anybody
they're-
that drives a Honda Civic, which I do, which is really funny. If you're driving a Honda Civic or a Honda Accord,
Yes.
you are always driving 30 miles an hour. I don't know what's going on. What is with that? And I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to stereotype anymore, but everybody else can go to, go to that place. So I'm just like, and it always happens when I'm in a hurry. It's like as usual, I've forgotten that I need
and
to
that
be
drives
somewhere.
me crazy.
Yeah. And that,
You have
I've
to be
wondered,
patient.
but what is it about that, Suzanne? You're the psychic, so you're supposed to know the answer to this. I'm
Okay,
joking
I'll
when I
try.
say that. But why does that happen? That when you're like, you have that oh shit moment, you're like, holy crap, I just got a call. I'm supposed to be in a meeting 50 minutes away, and I thought I
And
put it
there's
in
an
my
80
calendar, and then there's like an 80-car pileup
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
highway,
yeah.
and you're like, why did that happen? Why does that happen?
That I can't tell
And there's
you.
no other way there.
Yeah.
There's no other way there because you got to cross the bridge
You know what? I think you just got to plan on going early.
to the meeting that I didn't remember.
I don't have
Seriously?
an answer. I don't have an answer to that.
You're crazy. See,
There's
now
no
my nose
answer.
is running. Now my nose is running. So, oh my goodness, yes, that's so interesting. So,
And we are all connected, and we have to realize that we all come from different families that have different attitudes, and we think that how we grew up is the right way. Okay, we think that our religion is the right way. We think that the way we grew up is the right way. We don't know what people in different countries they're being told about us, or we have to understand where they came from and what they're being told.
I think what's interesting about that statement is that I don't know if some people would go so far as to say that they think it's the right way, but by the time you've become an adult, that way in itself is ingrained in you.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And that's why they say peace starts with the children, because we really need to, that's where it starts when you're young, and when things get ingrained in your mind, that's when they need to start learning about different realities, the way people act, why they act this way, how to accept them. I think that's so important, because by the time you're even 12, it's over. You know what I mean? You've learned all that.
Right. I think when I think about the like my daughter's generation, and of course the generation that's coming behind her, she's 19. For myself personally, being gay is nothing to them. They don't know anything but that. They don't know
Right,
anything about
exactly.
that that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that, we have a generation coming up that's, that looks at all relationships, male, female, 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 male, male, trans.
And I
all
think
of
10
that.
years from now, it's not even going to be an issue. I mean, they're not even going to,
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, because that generation that it was an issue with is no longer going to be here.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I never thought of it that
Oh
way.
yeah, no, you just
Yeah.
that's growth, and that's that growth.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fact that there's that forward movement that way. So I think that's
Yeah.
very fascinating.
Yeah. And I think, it should be about religion too. We need to accept people for what they believe, but we don't have to force it on them. We don't have to fight them because they don't believe it. Let us have our space. Let us believe in what we want to believe in, as long as we're living a good life.
Right, and what confuses me is I don't understand. My daughter's boyfriend is Indian, and to me, and I don't know if it's just because of the way that I was raised or the struggles that I went through, but obviously it must have been through the way that I was raised. Is that I don't look at his religion. His religion is his religion.
Right.
I look at him as a person. It's just like when people tell a story. I'm totally going to get into racism here for 30 seconds. I don't know why you have to tell me that it was a Hispanic driving that car. It doesn't matter,
Yeah,
unless it's
I
an
get
Asian
that.
driving a Honda Accord, and that's why they're going 30. I'll just put that out there. But yeah, I mean, I don't ever, And I was just having this conversation with somebody last week that there's no need to tell, like, I don't ever mention someone's race when I'm telling a story. It's a man or it's a woman, you know?
Right.
So.
But a lot of people do just to put the picture out there. I don't know why. And that's a.
Because we need a visual, I guess, in some respects.
Yeah, sometimes when but I totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah, like, as long as I know the sex, I've got the visual.
Yeah.
You know? Because if somebody says it's a black guy, well, okay. I don't know if that's racist of me to say that or not. I don't know. I don't care because I don't really ever say it. But, you know, as long as you say, oh, I saw some guy, that's enough for me. I don't need to hear anything else. She is so speaking volumes here. Well, what about me? Does anybody, I know we've got like 10 viewers on here. No one wants to come on live and see us, Suzanne. I don't know what's going on here.
Oh.
I know, that makes me very, very sad. I should check out our podcast page here quick just to see if we have any. I guess that wouldn't show there. I was going to see if we had any questions, but I don't know where I would see that. This? Here? Does this mean pop?
Sorry, everybody. We're just learning technology here.
Yes, I'm just learning technology. So, no. I agree with you on all of that. So tell us more about... I want to see what you've got written down. Have you talked about everything you've got written down?
Yeah, I've talked to, the Red Bandana Project has become a big deal, actually. And President Obama, at the opening of the 9/11 Museum, talked about Wells, actually. And his project. Oh, for God's sakes.
I want to see your eyes.
So, stop it! It's your intent.
Because you know what that is? Do you know why I do that?
No.
Because you're hiding. That's why you do that.
I am. That's
totally
true.
hiding.
I know that.
Mm-hmm.
So let me hide, okay? So, anyways,
I know all about body language.
So President Obama actually talked about Wells and the parents and
I love you too, Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
That's Amanda.
Oh, she said I love you, Raj. She didn't love both of us.
Well, because she said she is so speaking volumes here.
Oh,
she was giving you.
Thank you.
She was giving you that, but she wasn't giving it to me.
And she completely agrees with us.
You always have to validate me first. People don't know that.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm always first.
What does this say? Psychics in a nutshell?
Psychics in a nutshell. I guess.
I guess.
Oh, because you keep saying. I think because I said I guess. Or maybe I said I guess. I don't know. Anyways, Travis, both of us, right? I'm not a psychic, but we're just having a conversation here is what we're having. So if you'd like to ask us a question, Suzanne can answer it, and then I can answer what I think is also going on in your life too. So, but come on video, please. I'd like to see you on video.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yep, and then you can ask Suzanne a question about something, and she can... or she can tell you what she sees. I think you're amazing. Like, Suzanne's always been right on with me, so it's.
Thanks, Raj.
This is the thing. Like, and we had this conversation the last time Suzanne was on. This is the thing. Like, people don't get. Like, psychics don't know you're driving by your house, or that you know what I mean. Like, they don't know that you had chicken for dinner.
Sometimes.
It doesn't work. Sometimes you do.
Sometimes we see pictures. We don't know why.
Right, but that isn't always how it works.
No, and
it's a very organic process. As
a medium, I'll tell you that every time they show you something, they show me a picture, it's for a reason. It's always for a reason. They just don't show you something to show you something.
Right.
There's always a reason behind it. Like with Ellen and Helen.
Yeah, I mean, who could have ever guessed that you would have... When I had her on last time, she brought up about my grandmother, and she said, I don't remember. She said... Or, no, you didn't say I don't remember. You said her name's like Ellen or Helen. And what I didn't tell Suzanne was that my grandmother's name was Ellen, but she had a twin named Helen, which is so crazy that she had both of those names right. I mean, it's because they're kind of the same person. They were identical twins.
Yeah, that is crazy.
It was crazy how much they looked alike. If they were together, because they wore the same wig. They wore wigs by the time,
They wore the same wig?
Well, you know what I mean? They had the same style of wig. They talked the same. They had the same hand. Just like I can still see how my grandma would hold her hands.
Wow.
Not like hold them like this, but how she would hold it.
Uh-huh.
And the looks on her face and her doing this. I will never forget her doing this. And it wasn't like this. It was always like this. Yep. And that's how she was pointing at you when she was trying to get a point across to you.
You know why? Because she says it's not polite to point, so that's why she did it.
Oh, sure. And I could see her saying that. I love you, Grandma. She's amazing. I absolutely love her.
You know what I
miss
wanted
her
to
so
mention?
much.
Last time I was on, you talked about how I did readings and that people would tell me who they wanted to talk to. That's not how it works. What I have them do is they say a prayer the night before, and those people just automatically come through. They don't tell me who they want to talk to.
Oh, all right.
I just wanted to mention that.
Can I ask, since no one's coming on, she talked about my friend being by me and even in my room. Oh, yeah, I remember that. That was, right, looking
Total
over you while you're in
goosebumps.
bed. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember her?
Oh,
That's
no,
Amanda.
not really, but I never remember what I see. But
I know. Well, luckily we have video evidence right now that you're seeing me. So that'll be your reminder.
you really
I
did.
guess, at least. So I have a very strange question I want to ask you. And it's just
Nothing
because there's a
strange to
movie.
me.
Well, no, because there's a movie out. I love scary movies.
Oh, I hate scary movies. I
And
get scared
the
at everything.
Krampus is out, which I want to see. Do you want to see that movie, Aaron? No?
Yeah.
He's scared of everything. He's just like my cat.
I'm afraid of everything.
I love to face my fears unless it's an emotional situation.
I have
and
dead people
I don't want to
floating in
face
my
anything
room.
emotional. Let me ask you that question too.
They scare the
First of
crap
all,
out of me.
first of all, I want to ask you this question. And I'm not expecting you to know the answer to this.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
and we also have to talk about my dream about the squirrel. Remember that?
Yes.
3 things. We're going to cover all 3 things right now. Okay? Hit the hot button. First of all, I had a dream about a squirrel, and it was very disturbing. My daughter's boyfriend was over. This was my dream. My daughter's boyfriend was over, and he was hungry, and then for some reason went out to go run some
This is the
errands.
dream. This is the dream.
Again, this was the dream.
Right.
And in my dream, then he texted me a video, which is not unusual. He loves texting me to show me how much weight he's lifting at the gym because he's trying to be stronger than me, but that ain't gonna happen. And yeah, I heard the way you moaned. Anyway, but but the dream was he was holding a squirrel in his hands like this. But here, what he had done is he had skinned the squirrel. It was still alive. And then, and the squirrel was literally sitting, like when you see a image of a squirrel, like just sitting on its haunches with its little arms up like that. Like that's how the squirrel was sitting.
Even after he was skinned?
Even after it had been skinned. Yep. It was like it was fine. Because I'm thinking about what you told me, okay? And so, but then what he did is then he ended up taking his hands and he cupped them around the neck and he strangled it to death.
Ay, ay, ay.
And he killed it. It's not funny, but I'm laughing because
No,
it's so shocking.
not funny.
And then he ended up taking the head off and he ate it.
Yeah.
So you had said to me, do you want to explain to me what you think that was about? Because I have some thoughts and opinions.
I think it was just about accepting him for his beliefs.
I would agree with you in that.
Yeah.
I also think that part of, I guess because I want to mock Travis over here. Part of what after hearing you say that, part of me wondered if it was about, because of this kind of new chapter that I'm going into, if that squirrel was me, and it's about me being accepted, my skin coming off, in front of everybody.
Well, I think you've already done that.
And feeling like the world's going to possibly strangle me and rip my head off. Being vulnerable.
I don't get that, but it could be.
Okay.
But you've already done that. You've already put yourself out there. You've already done that. You've been accepted. So
thank you.
Well, sometimes you get
I get reported for nudity.
you get reported.
Right.
But
That's over now. That hasn't happened now for a couple days, which is a good thing. But okay. So the next thing, let me ask you this question.
okay.
My cat I'm not saying you can read cats.
What's your cat's name?
My
I
cat's
can read animals.
Okay,
yes.
well, I'm just asking. My cat's name is Bubba.
How do you spell that?
Bubba.
Does your cat have a middle name?
No.
Okay.
And he doesn't have a last name either. He's just Bubba.
Okay. Just
Okay.
Bubba.
Just Bubba, right.
Okay.
He's like Bubba, you know, from the South.
Yeah.
You know, the deep South kind of Bubba.
Bubba.
That's where I got it from.
Okay.
And anyway, but it's so weird because he's constantly...
He's got attitude.
He does.
Yeah.
And what
Don't bother him
I've
so
been
much.
trying... Well, he's bothering me.
No, he's got control of the house.
Well, a perfect example is he knows. It's like he knows where I'm going to be walking.
I was just going to say I didn't get it out. You walk too hard. He doesn't like that you walk too hard. You got to be softer on your feet. Too fast, too hard. You're walking.
Okay, this makes sense.
Really bugs
because he will
him.
stand in the way of where I'm walking.
Yeah, I know.
Because he knows I'm coming a certain way, and then I have to slow down.
Yeah, he's
Okay,
bugged by
and
that.
then I'm like,
and
move, get out of the way.
Well, Ross, he wants to be in control.
Well, he's going to have to wrestle this to get in control.
Listen, he's a cat. He doesn't have to wrestle anything. He can have his own way.
And then he's just meowing. He comes over to me and meows and meows and meows.
Well, that's
But
about
it's just-
attention, and he doesn't like that you're moving so fast, and he wants attention. You obviously don't pay enough attention to him.
You know what I was just told today? That I need to stop paying attention. Someone saw my post about picking out my ornaments at Macy's.
Yeah,
Because you saw how controlling I was when I mentioned about how I did it. I don't know if you saw that post.
I didn't see it.
So I'd gone to Macy's. I'll tell a little story. I'd gone to Macy's, saw this tree that was filled with baked good ornaments. Went crazy because that's my wheelhouse is baked goods, cakes, cookies, all that kind of stuff, donuts.
But what do you mean? You hang them?
They're glass ornaments. They're glass ornaments in the shapes.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Okay.
I was like, I have to get this tree. It's like craziness. So then I picked one of every ornament off the tree and I put it all down on a counter. I tried to find a nice counter to put it on. And then I looked at all the ornaments and I looked for cohesion. I tried to figure out which ones go together, which ones look good together, which ones don't match, which ones are all kind of the same size.
Okay, see,
Where's
in
the
my head that would
colorway?
never happen.
Okay. I spent an hour doing this,
Uh-huh.
okay? And then the people at Macy's, by the way, Mall of America, I should give them some props. They got my crazy. I'm sure they were like, does somebody have some Vicodin for him? And then after I
Perfectionist.
whittled it down to a set that I thought looked cohesive, because my tree has to have cohesion to it, then I had them go in the back room and get each ornament, but a bunch of them, so that way I could look and find the perfect ornaments. You know how ornaments, I'm going to show this. You know how ornaments have the little topper thing at the top that the things come out
Yeah.
of? This has to be completely straight across for me. If it's cattywampus and I can't move it back straight, boop, that ornament goes away. I want another
Okay,
one.
have you thought
Okay?
of ever trying to get over that?
So no. So here's the deal. So I explained my crazy on social media yesterday about it because I
Uh-huh.
wanted people that are crazy like me to feel accepted because I want to feel accepted.
It's not crazy. That's not crazy.
Well, and
That's
someone
a
said to me,
perfectionist.
excuse me while I itch my nipples. So what someone said to me is that that I need to stop, and they were saying this in love, and I get it. But they were like, you need to stop concentrating so much. They appreciated the detail that I went through and my attention to looking at things. But they said, what I have to start doing is translating that to people.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. And I thought...
And how would you do that? Explain that.
Well, I have, because of my whole job transition, which happened, 8 years ago, I've spent so much of my time, I've continued to throw into the vacuum, the vortex of reinventing myself, work.
Mm-hmm.
And things have been so much a part of my work. You know,
Yeah.
like having everything look perfect on my
Yeah.
website, having everything look perfect
You are
on the
connected
show.
to a lot of things. Yeah.
I am. Yeah,
And
I've
you
got
have
a
a
lot of
storage
storage
unit.
lockers.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Excuse me, my nipples just itch for some
Oh.
weird reason. So, do you want to itch my nipples, Suzanne, or lick them? Maybe, maybe you lick them.
Oh.
And I do enjoy that. But so, needless to say,
Aaron, Aaron's laughing.
right. He's like, why doesn't somebody want to lick my nipples? It's because you don't ask. You just got to ask. I'll ask somebody at the bar if they want to do it. But anyway, but I thought that was very telling because, you know, that's the one thing I know I consciously did. I was fortunate enough that when all of this happened, my daughter was old enough, and I thought I have to keep a roof over our heads. I have to concentrate on work, and I literally, it was just like I took her, and I was like, whoop, you know. Like, I will listen, and as a parent, anybody that's a parent out there knows what I'm talking about. I would always listen for key words that would alarm me if I would hear them, you know, and then I'd be like, oh, I got to pay attention
Help!
to this. Help or sex, you know, or menstrual cycle, or somebody's getting beat up, or I got an F, or I'm struggling, or the teacher called me to the class.
My dress
You know,
is wrong.
Right, exactly. My breasts are growing. I'm in a double D now. Things like that. Like, I was always listening for things like that. Otherwise, I was doing this. Oh, that's so sweet. You know, because I had to work, you know, and now, you know, it's been 8 years, and now I'm beginning to, you know, have the ability to relax. But I thought that was very good advice for me, you know, because ultimately
advice.
people matter more than things.
Yes.
And so, this was going to be my
I'm
question.
not even sure if this stuff is really here, to be honest with you. I don't really believe it's here. I think we create it in our minds, but I don't really.
It's like the Matrix, but different. And I'm not
Yeah.
joking. I'm being serious.
Yeah, but I don't know what you're talking
I
about.
want Aaron to be there
Well, he is
because I
there.
want to touch him.
Okay, you know what? You need to get over that.
I just love giving Aaron shit. That's all I love doing.
I have a woman for him. Leave him alone.
He's got a man right here. Like,
No, he doesn't want you.
exactly. I'll be your whoa man. Anyway, so here's my question. Are you ready for this, Suzanne? And I'm watching for your reaction.
Oh, God.
Okay. I want to know, do you believe in vampires? Do you believe vampires exist? Do you believe, like, because I love that movie series Underworld with the Lycans, which is the werewolves and the vampires. And
I
I'm
have never put any thought into this.
curious
Ross.
if you think those types of entities exist.
I believe in gnomes and fairies.
Do you believe in witches? Do you believe witches exist?
I think they exist. You mean the religion?
Oh, well, I don't know. Like, there's a show that I watch on TV called Salem.
Oh,
It's a very
yeah.
good show.
Yeah.
And they're totally practicing the witchcraft. And I don't think
Yeah,
witches
you
are bad
know,
people.
To be honest with you, I don't believe in any of that,
Okay.
but that's my reality.
Sure.
That's my reality. But I have seen fairies around people, and I've seen gnomes. This is kind of a weird story.
I want to hear it.
When I was in college and I was camping with some friends, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and I looked. This is before I was psychic or anything, and I looked, and there was a gnome looking at me, and I thought, okay, like we did smoke some pot the night before. I thought.
That might be the reason.
But it was the strangest thing, and I thought, okay.
This podcast brought to you by Powerade Zero, by the way. I'm joking. It's not.
But I have actually seen gnomes and fairies around, and especially in wilderness. People are going to think I'm really crazy. When
No, I
say
love this stuff
but-
because to me, what people don't get, because I think a lot of people, I think when you're young, you believe these things. It's just like trusting your gut. You sense. If I was 3 and I ran into Aaron, I would sense he wanted me. I'm joking when I say that, Aaron. Like, if Aaron was a bad person, like if Aaron was a bully, I would know that as a kid. I think as we get older, we shut ourselves off to so many possibilities and what is really going on in the
But
universe.
the world shuts us off. When you start saying, when a 4-year-old kid or child starts saying, oh, I can see grandpa, everybody's going to say, no, you can't. And
Right,
then they
that's what
shut
I'm
it up.
saying. The
Yeah.
world shuts us off.
Yeah.
Because we're told that's not true. It's not possible. So I do believe in those things. I
believe in vampires?
Huh? I believe that anything is possible. I think anything is possible. I believe that we, could potentially, fly possibly. I think that anything is possible. It's just, what you can believe. Because I think there's endless. I think the mind is so powerful.
There's so much more to the world than people. I mean, I saw this when I started really seeing things. There's so much more.
Thank you, Amanda.
There's so much more than.
Do you need your glasses, Suzanne, to read
No,
that?
I don't know what she's agreeing to.
That the world, that anything is possible.
Oh, yes. Okay. There's so much more. And if they would teach kids when they're young that they have guides on the other side that work with them or there's angels around them, how much more peaceful would you be when you went to school and you knew everything was going to be okay? You know what I mean?
Oh my God. I would have had a completely different life. Right. You're not alone.
You're not alone.
But then if we lived in that world of peace.
Even if you don't have any friends, you're not alone.
Right, but all of that is changing. I don't know.
I hope
mean, that
so.
still happens, but you're right.
The world, there's so much more than people realize there really is.
Right. It's full, and that is that intention. That is kind of visualizing, what do you want for your life? And recognizing that if you continue to visualize that, the world wants to bring that to you. But again, your intention. What's your intention? I have to itch my ear.
And make it within reason. I mean, it's not, I want to fly to the moon on my own,
I do. I want to be at the International Space Station. That's where I want to be. Well, this podcast is already streamed to the International Space Station. Everybody knows that. Almost to Mars.
When I say you want to fly to the moon, actually, I know people that have, psychics that have left their body and been out and,
There are colonies on the moon. I don't know if anybody has seen.
I heard that.
Anybody has seen this
now
article?
We're going to a weird
I
place.
spoke to Aaron about this article that there are 5 colonies currently on Mars that are living human colonies. I believe that shit is real. I'm going to just put that out there. But I'm going to tell you something I don't believe is real. I'm telling myself isn't real. And Aaron, you and I had this conversation. Pantone's color of the year fucking pisses me off. Did you see that announcement? Craziness. I cannot believe that they chose that pink and that blue. It was insane.
Oh,
I called
God
this.
forbid.
I called this weeks ago. I don't remember on which podcast, but we talked about it. And they claim that that all of their color choices were I don't want to say bisexual, but they weren't, leaning towards one sex or the other. And the first one was some shade of pink. Now, I love pink. I'm wearing pink underwear.
I love
You
pink.
want to see my pink underwear? Because I'll show
Yes.
it to you. I am not ashamed of pink underwear. You ready?
Honestly.
Here we go.
Oh, very cute.
Okay.
Very cute.
So I am not afraid of pink underwear. You want to see that ass?
Oh my God, you have a heart on you.
Anyway, so I love pink, but the colors they chose, maybe if they chose this shade of pink.
You're looking good, Ross.
I know. See? Oh, look I got another follower.
I have to just take your clothes off.
Oh, Ninja Turtle underwear. I don't have those. Oh, it is my mom, Ross. I don't get that.
I don't either.
She just came on. Oh, because I was showing my underwear. I don't mind. Maybe I could do that every Friday or every week when I blab is what underwear am I wearing. You guys have to let me know if you want me to do that, and I will do that. Thank you. I've worked very, very hard on my ass.
Tushy, yes.
Yep. So I did a post about that this last week. You like how we go from piece to piece of ass? I just talked about that. I don't know why I always have to get so close to the mic. I think it's just because I'm gay. I'm naturally attracted to that.
Oh, No, we're not going there.
Anyway, but I did a post about that this last
Ross.
week because I dedicate every week at the gym, or every day, or not every day, but there's a day, Wednesday, and I do Wednesday because I think it's funny because it's hump day. I dedicate it to my humps. And that's ass day.
Yes, I get it.
And so I did a post because the first thing I do is this thing called a glute bridge, which is, it looks fairly easy, but it works your ass like no tomorrow. Like you think you've got a flat ass, you start doing that, bam.
Oh.
You're going to have a hard time finding pants. And
I used to lift weights, but I've had some pain, so I haven't been able to.
oh, sure. Resistance training is the key. I seriously just don't diet. I really don't. I ate a whole pizza last
Oh, I
night.
know, it burns
Like,
calories.
oh my
like
God, I
crazy.
can eat whatever the fuck I want. It's
yeah.
absolutely crazy. And I mean, I'm not ripped or anything. I mean, I don't think I am, but people do. So, anyways, but my post, because I just love, this is, if you don't understand me and I'm doing it this way, I suppose I should do it the way my grandma does because it's not nice to point. But this is what I love doing to people. No, but I really have to do this because I don't know where it is. This is what I love doing to people. I love poking you and going, does that bother you? Does that post bother you?
That's really annoying.
Huh?
That's annoying.
What is annoying?
The poking.
Oh, I love, no, not poking on Facebook. I'm just saying,
No,
like,
I
I
know,
love
the
going
poking.
like this, like, does that post bother you? Huh? I love doing things to make people, just to kind of deal with it. Like, why? Don't make that a big deal and move on because there's other things more important, like my shiny forehead. Like people who are getting waterboarded in other countries.
Can I go back to the peace thing for a minute?
Oh, totally.
Okay.
Because I'm going to talk for the next 20 minutes about my ass.
Okay, because what I wanted to tell you was while I started doing readings for other families, I realized that there was a connection between me and all the other people I was talking to and what was going on in their lives. And that's how I realized that we're all connected. They actually showed me on the other side how we're all connected. Anne and Wells are twin souls. Their birthdays are the same day.
Oh my God, weird.
They worked on the same floor. They were both athletic. They both had a lot of friends. They both have a father that was worked in banks. They both have mothers that were creative. I mean, I could just go on and on and on. And they come through as twin souls with the same message.
So when you see that we're all connected, explain that to me. Help me understand how it is that you see that. Like, what is it that you're seeing?
They showed it to me. They actually showed it to me.
Yeah, but what does that mean? Help stupid me. I know I'm not stupid, but help me
Okay.
understand what that means. Wrap my mind around that.
What
one.
it means? What it means is that we're all from the same creator, and that we are all basically the same person, relatives. We're all from the same creator. So why are we fighting? We're all the same. We're all connected.
I've never thought about it like that.
We are
So Aaron
all
and I are
connected.
related.
We're all connected. We're all on Earth. We all have the same energy. Even with the animals, we're connected, and with the trees and with everything else. Everything is connected. So why are we fighting with each other? We have to learn to understand each other. But they showed me how we're all connected. Remember I told you about the typewriter ball?
Mm-hmm.
When I first got my psychic abilities, I said to God, am I special? And I heard a big no. And I thought, oh, crap. And they showed me a typewriter ball, those old-fashioned typewriter balls.
Yeah.
And they said,
I'm visualizing one.
if one of the letters is missing, the ball won't work. The same on Earth. If the garbage man isn't there to pick up your garbage, the brain surgeon can't go to work, can't get his car out of the garage. Everybody is connected. Everything is connected.
And that's why it's important. I think this is very good also. I think that's why it's also important to, I don't know, CJ, if you heard that or not, but I'm going to say this. And then Suzanne, CJ, can you respond if you heard Suzanne talk about while we're connected? But I want to say something. That's why it's important for everybody to recognize that your job as the garbage man is just as important
As a brain surgeon.
as the brain surgeon.
Absolutely.
Your work is just as valuable. My work. That's no problem, no problem at all. Did you hear? Oh no, she didn't, or he didn't. I apologize. I need to click on you to see if you're a man or a woman. Just because I have to have that visual.
And
but
you know what? Even people that are homeless or people that have disabilities, it's about us learning empathy.
right, and showing compassion towards other
And
people,
showing
right, and helping
compassion.
other people.
Absolutely.
So, can you just re-explain for CJ how it is that we are all connected?
Explain how we're all connected. We're all connected because we're all from the same source. We all bleed red. We all have, our bodies are the same. Well, not yours.
My
but
body's hotter than everybody in this room. I'll tell you that right now.
We all, I mean, we're all human,
Right.
And
But we're all
everything-
from the same creator. We're all from the same place.
We're all from the same place.
we all are linked to each other. I think that's what people
We're
don't get.
absolutely linked to each other.
And how you treat, the lady at the florist, kind of puts out into the universe, how that florist is going to end up going home and having, relationships with her husband
Yes.
or her children.
Yes.
That all
Thank you,
plays in
Russ.
together. That's that forward motion. That's why
Yes.
being kind and understanding, goes so much further, and recognizing that if someone comes at you from a really crazy place, hold on, I have to finish saying this so I don't look at that. You have to pause and understand that they've got something else going on with them, and give back to them kindness and compassion. You mean linked by heritage as well as living in a society together? No, CJ, she's talking about kind of from a bigger perspective.
Much bigger.
That,
Yeah. We're all living in
our
the same
creator,
world.
the creator who created the universe, we all stem from that creator. He created us,
We all
or
are part,
she,
we're
or
all
it.
part of that. We're
Right.
all entities part of that.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Exactly. So, and we're all here together. So it's like a large puzzle. Don't you think?
Yes, and I think that we kind of have screwed ourselves because now, we can't travel safely, we can't live safely because we haven't learned in the past. I mean, it's just come to this big blah. You know what I mean?
I do, and I
Let's
think
take care of it.
I do, and I think if you think about that puzzle perspective, I think that there are people who have purposefully, out of fear, pulled their pieces out.
Yes.
To try and and feeding into lies and fear mongering and making us scared instead of focusing on that message of trust and love, and because we all are supposed to be together and live harmoniously with one another, which I know seems like a concept that is impossible, but it's not impossible.
And technology
It's about-
has really hurt. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No.
But technology has really hurt it because the people with the fears are getting it online and getting to more people and scaring more people. And
Well,
You
and
know
the
what I mean?
people with say you're afraid of, I'm just going to put this out there. Say you're afraid of black people. Well, then, someone else posts something, that is, that also is afraid of black people. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, they're afraid of black people too. See, so then I'm not alone and that fear is real, and then they all kind of group together and become like this ball of negativity. Don't you think?
well,
Am I
yeah,
wrong?
absolutely. But
You're
I was
looking at
just-
me like I'm crazy.
No,
which
I
I'm
was
used
just
to,
thinking
but-
in my head when you're saying black people, because I don't see people.
I use that as an
I
example.
know, but I don't see people that way. I was just thinking in my head, wow, I don't even see people that way.
I don't. It's so weird. And we just talked about this. I don't see. I recognize that people are different shades. Even white people have different shades of skin. It's not like all white people are white. We're technically
but on the
not
other
white.
side, there's no color. There's no. Yeah.
It's just people.
It's
is
just,
what it is.
Yeah, it's just spirits.
Right.
It's just spirits. And we come here on earth as looking different and being different to learn to get together to learn to be together in peace.
And to respect each other's differences and still love each other regardless of them.
Absolutely.
Which you cannot grow, people. I'm sorry, you cannot grow. You're not going to move forward until you recognize that. It really is true.
Yeah.
It really is true. Until you can honestly, look at someone and know that they are so far different from you and respect it and still go, I want to spend time with you, though, because I love you as a person. And for me, when someone is really different from me, I want to get to know them because that to me is how I grow. Mm-hmm. It forces me to go outside of my Mariah Carey bubble, and to learn about someone else's perspective on life.
And to learn that if you absolutely can't get along with somebody, just walk away. Say, okay, we agree to disagree, or you don't understand me, but just walk away. If you can't work it out with them, just walk away.
Right. I feel, and this is me and my crazy, I think when I can't get along with someone, I think that's the universe sending someone my way to teach me something. And so I try really hard to figure out why. I don't want to walk away.
I think that's
and
a
I'm
great
not
idea,
saying I'm
but
not
there
saying
are
that I want to
times-
fight with them. I'm saying I look at that as an opportunity. Like I'm supposed to grow here and I need to figure out and I need to learn about that person and so that way I can grow.
But sometimes if that person is not going to deal with you, you can't learn from them.
Are you agreeing with me, CJ? All you have to do is say yes. Because that's the only word I ever want to hear is yes.
Sad but true is what I see.
Right. I mean, yes, when someone is truly negative, I'm not saying that if it's a negative person, I'm saying, say there's someone who irritates you. You're working with someone or you go to a party and yes, exactly, CJ. Exactly. And intention.
Was it try to live positively
and get along with everybody.
Okay.
Right. And unfortunately, that's not how everybody thinks. And I think that's so sad that we're not living in a society where that is the goal right now. But I think it's becoming more the goal, CJ. I don't know if you experienced that, but what's encouraging for me is this is a conversation that I'm having more and more with people. But I'm just having a light bulb go off in my head. And I'm going to say this, and you let me know what you think about this, Suzanne, is that when I stopped all that negative shit thinking and I really started putting out my, positive intentions, putting out good things, slowly, this is the universe, bitch, seriously, and I know I just called you bitch. This is literally the universe bringing people to you that are like you. It brings positive people together.
That's it, likes attract likes.
Right. Exactly.
And gosh, if everybody could be the same and be kind, think what a wonderful world it would be. Yoko Ono just put out a post.
She's crazy.
No, I love her.
Travis, hey, hold on. Travis wants to know what isn't part of the universe. I want to know, what does that question mean? I don't understand that question.
What isn't part of the universe? I don't know. You tell me.
Hey, Michael. We're waiting to hear back from a question that Travis has asked here because I'm trying to understand. Saying the universe is guiding you to some point is meaningless. No, I don't think so. I think the universe has a plan for each one of us. And I think it has to be a part of this grand master plan, so to speak.
It's all part of that typewriter ball. Right.
To move our society forward, to move the world forward to the point where we all do love each other again. I think ultimately we're trying, this is going to sound very crazy to me, but I think we're the ultimate goal is to get back to that Garden of Eden. That place,
exactly.
That place of love and harmony and peace.
Yes.
And until we get to that point, we have to continue to have growing pains. We have to have those birthing pains. And so it keeps putting us, well, you and I disagree on that.
I can't see it.
He said the Garden of Eden never existed. Why don't we just say...
It doesn't matter whether it did or it
right.
didn't.
And I was just going to say, let's just say that, for all intents and purposes, the point is that we're trying to become I think the universe wants our world to be one of peace and harmony, where we all love each other and respect each other's differences.
Yeah,
I don't believe that
and
that
we respect
isn't
that
possible.
idea. I mean, who knows who's right and who's wrong? But
Why? So let me ask you this. This is very interesting. He says the universe doesn't care. You know, why did the universe destroy the dinosaurs? I have no idea.
Yeah,
Such a
I
weird
don't know.
question.
I think that there's a reason for everything, but we don't know the reasons for everything.
Right.
We don't
only,
know.
to me, my responsibility is to deal with what's in front of me.
Right. Exactly.
You know, because I'm not in control of the universe. I'm only in control of my little, which it's a very tiny portion of the world.
And you know, people have life reviews when they pass, and I've noticed in their life reviews, even I just get emotional about this, but even when they do a small thing like they open up a door for somebody, it's realized in their life review.
Yes, it has ramifications.
Yes, that person
right.
will open up the door for the next person, or you know.
Yes, if that's Travis, if that's how you
karma,
perceive it,
he's
yes,
right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Karma.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is not as easy to live as we all want to believe it is.
No, it's hard to continually, but it's something that we have to really work on.
Exactly. Amanda, this is so
what
true.
What did she say?
Well, I'm saying, you know, when we say creator, it's just we're I think as humans, we try to put something there so that way we can talk about it. It could be, you know, it could be an energy or the world. Exactly. Personify the world. Exactly. That's all it is.
I can't, you know what? I need new contacts.
Because, well, for me, and again, this is just me, because I'm trying to make something physical so that way I can speak about it. Instead of something that, you know, doesn't, I guess in a sense to me, physically exist in front of me. You know,
there has to be a creator or nothing.
You know, Amanda said something here, right? The energy. I love what she says here, though. You know, the creator decides, the energy decides. You know, and I think all of that, it all feeds to each other.
You know
within
what?
that
I have
puzzle.
to be honest with you. I don't really know how it works because I don't know how the creator works. I don't know. I don't think as humans we're supposed to.
I don't agree with that, Travis, but I respect it.
What?
There. You know, he says creator is a meaningless term. There has to be a unicorn or nothing would die. I mean, and I don't want to be disrespectful when I say it. Forgive me for responding to you that way. I don't look at it that way, but I can see how, you know, you do.
I think it's
and I respect
beyond
that.
what we understand, really.
Right? Yeah. Right. I'm trying to do my part, which is really, I think, what you and I are trying to have a discussion about, which is each one of us coming to that recognition. Right. My part is up to me. Exactly, Travis. Exactly.
What? Don't say exactly. Tell people what he's saying.
He says your part is up to you.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And that's what I've been trying to do is, no, you're right. You're right. Exactly, Travis. You're exactly right. He says, but it's not up to you. Sorry. I always do that. Oh, you're right. You're right. No, you are so right on.
Yes,
I mean, it's not up to the universe.
Everybody has to take the responsibility.
Everybody has to take responsibility for themselves to move forward.
Yes.
Right. You're totally right.
Yeah. What does that say? You give fine advice.
Question. You give fine advice about behaving socially. I don't know how, why that has any ties with the origin of the universe or the creator. Could you clarify?
Well, I think how we act in every situation has to do with kindness and in social situations. Is that what you're talking about? Behaving socially?
Being kind to someone is an action.
It is an action.
Yes, it does affect them. Correct.
It affects
and
everybody.
If you don't,
when somebody lets me in traffic, I'm like all happy and I want to let someone else in. You know what I mean? Well, I'm like, well, I feel good. That
right.
Person, you know.
And CJ, I think what it is, but it's not a supernatural database of good and bad deeds. I don't pay it forward. Yeah, I mean, I do believe it kind of is a database of good and bad deeds. I do believe that what we're doing all becomes part of that block that continues to get built, that moves you forward.
Yes, it's about creating reality. The more we think about peace and the more people put that reality in their head, the more it's going to be created, the more we're going to have. That's how it works.
CJ, I believe, hold on one second, Travis. CJ, I believe that how we're acting ties us to the the universe is, and I know some people are going to disagree with me on this, but I'm just going to put it this way, ties us to how the universe wants us to move forward, or kind of the ultimate plan of peace and love. That's, to me, how you behave socially does have ties to that. Am I wrong? And I don't want to say am I wrong.
It's about loving yourself, loving everybody around you. It's really about loving yourself.
I know that you're saying the universe doesn't care, Travis. I believe that it does care.
I think it does care. I think absolutely the universe cares.
And only things with brains can care. Can I prove it? Yeah, well, I can prove it through the fact that ever since I've been doing good things, I think the universe...
Can I say something about proof?
Of course.
Being a psychic, there's a lot of things that we can't prove, but I think that we have to, and this is what I hear all the time, it's about having faith. It's about having faith. It's about having faith that everybody can be okay. A lot of times when I do a reading and it's somebody who doesn't believe in what I do, their relatives say, but have faith. Have faith that everything is going to be okay. Have faith that I'm here. It's about having faith in everybody around you that everything is going to work out okay if we all act in the appropriate way.
Right, because if you rely solely on fact and you don't step out in faith, you can't trust the universe. Mm-hmm. And be part of the bigger plan.
Yeah.
And that's what we believe.
I mean, you have to have faith when you go out to your car. You're not going to get run over. You know what I mean? You have to have faith to move on with your life.
Faith is, I would say, a blind trust in something that you that will have a positive income. Blind trust, yes. That's the word that I'm using.
Well, there's a lot coming in really fast. I can't read all this.
I use the words. It's so funny because I'm on television and I never watch what I say because I'm thinking people get the point that I'm trying to go here. I think faith is kind of a blind trust. It's saying, you know what, I don't have all the, I'm going to choose to believe that something positive is going to come out here. That's to me what faith is. I'm going to choose to do, I don't have all, I'm trying to think about how to say this because to me faith is so complicated, but yet it's so simple.
Well, and he's saying what's the difference between gullibility and faith? But...
Am I saying blind trust is good? I'm saying, you know what, at times, yes. Because
I think so.
what I'm going to tell you is that needing to see the facts and everything, and, in my experience, I don't know how old you are, but I can tell you that going off of facts all the time does not always lead you to utopia in the world. So, and I know that a lot of people, well, I can't even think of one person that doesn't come into adulthood without bullshit and baggage from their childhood. You cannot clarify what you believe in, Ross. Simply believe everyone has a different point of view. They do.
That is very good. That's very good what she just said.
How does a psychic who wants to believe they know... Oops, excuse me. Who wants to believe they know the future differentiate between actually knowing...
something...
Actually knowing they know the future. I don't understand that question. I'm sorry. If you trust something is there, a chance risk that the trust is misplaced is the same thing true of faith. I would say yes. We do not live in a perfect world. It's so interesting to me, and I can't read here what's going on. I
There's
mean,
a
I
lot of
can, but
comments
it's a lot of
coming
comments
in.
not coming up here. This is what I think it's so crazy, and I love the conversation when you start talking about faith and believing in something, and people are like, well, what happens when something goes wrong? Guess what? That's the world. It's not perfect. Bad things are going to happen. That
Well,
all
I
happens.
think
You
we
can't
have
just
to.
say, well, I had faith and then something fucked up. Well, guess what? That's the world.
You know what? Like what happened in France, and all the people
And I'm
coming.
not yelling at you, CJ. Don't get me wrong.
And it's just like when something bad goes wrong, all the love that comes from it. There's a lot of,
Yes.
like with 9/11, there's a lot of really good things that have come from it. And I think that that's what we have to look at. Maybe it happened because of the good that came out of it or what we learned from it. There's just not answers to everything,
There's not.
unfortunately. But I think that everybody who's got a comment here, it's all valid to me.
Michael, you're absolutely right. Facts create iPhones, computers, cameras, and electricity. It's absolutely true. So, cameras, iPhones, and computers can't love me, but I certainly do enjoy having them around in my life. So,
I didn't say that 9/11 was a good thing. He's saying, did you say that it was a good thing?
I didn't see that at all.
My sister's friends had died in
No,
9/11.
it said my
Did you
sister's friends.
say it
Did you
was
say it was a good thing?
thing?
No, she did not say that it
No.
was a good thing.
I'm saying good things came out of it.
Right, that's what she's saying, is that the people who died in 9/11,
They died for a reason.
they ended up dying for a reason. So, and I understand that, Amanda. I understand that that's what he's doing. So CJ's like, so how could you find out if your faith is in something was misplaced? I would say that, to me,
I don't know. Faith is misplaced. It's your faith.
I
So
think your faith can be misplaced in certain
I think
things.
if it's negative, it can be.
Right.
But if it's positive and it creates something positive in your life, it doesn't matter
Right,
what
but-
your faith is.
Right, but I
As long
think
as-
her question is based on what if your faith is placed in something that is negative? Well, again, this is the universe. This is kind of that whole plan. This is where sometimes time, will reveal that to you. You
Learning
have to,
from each other.
right? Learning, asking questions.
Why does someone think that
trusting
way?
your gut. Ask and trying to understand someone's intention. Ultimately, that's what I believe. So,
What does that last one say? I can't.
Travis
faith-
believes he's not picking a fight. I will trust you on your word on that.
You
So
know what?
the
I don't-
universe told Islamic fundamentalists to destroy the towers for what reason? She did not say anything about that, Travis. So that had nothing to do with that. If Michael, if faith is reliable, I hope I'm answering everybody's questions here. I apologize. If faith is a reliable way to truth, then why for different people it leads to totally different gods and religions? That's actually a very good question.
I don't think it matters as long as it's a good road, as long as it doesn't matter the religion, as long as it's positive and it doesn't, there aren't negative things, or it doesn't, you know what I mean?
Well, I think to me, when I think about Michael's question, I think about, say, tribes that don't have access to television, that don't have access to, let's just say, other parts of the world. I'm going to answer this question, and then we need to be wrapping this up, and I apologize. And I'll look at your question, Travis, after I'm done answering this. Otherwise, I get distracted when I read all of it. But to me, I think it's interesting that you find tribes, say, in remote regions of the world that worship gods. And it's not Christianity, it's not Islam, it's not Judaism.
It doesn't matter what
it doesn't
is.
matter. We
No.
all know that there's a higher power. We all know it.
As long as
doesn't-
it works for them and
Right.
it causes peace
Right.
in their life and
Right.
they're peaceful people.
Exactly.
Who cares?
Right, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. I don't really care if someone, worships a different religion.
I think
What
it's what
matters
makes
is
the
that
world
they're
interesting.
practicing love. Right,
Yes.
right. I'm not saying, I don't believe that Muslims are haters. I believe that there are just as many Christians and just as many Jews. Suzanne's Jewish and I'm a Christian, that would do harmful things to people, but that has to do with them as a person, doesn't have anything to do with their religion. And if they say anything with respect to if they do something bad, if they say anything regarding religion within it, it's their skewed version. It's not the bigger picture reality of it, because I don't know anything about Christianity. I mean, I do, but what I'm saying is that teaches hate. There's nothing regarding Judaism that teaches hate. People skew it. People will read into it to then justify their own ends, but that's them. We don't have to bring the religion aspect into it, right?
Absolutely, but you know what?
I'm just asking for an amen.
I hope that we get more comments through the day. I hope as people listen to this, they will give us their comments,
right?
Because I find this so interesting. I don't think anybody's questions here are wrong or
no, I don't.
Creating issues, or I think it's all purposeful and great.
And CJ, I want to answer your question here. It says, if somebody tells you they don't believe in a higher power exists, would you believe them? You know what? Yeah, I would. And I respect that.
Would I what?
Would I believe that, if someone told me they didn't believe in a higher power, I would believe that. I would respect it.
Yeah, my brother, that's what my brother believes.
I have friends that don't believe that there's a higher power and that we just, somehow poof, we were here. That's fine.
It's okay as long as they're good people. Who cares?
Right. As long as they're good to other people and yeah. I mean,
my brother doesn't believe in any of this, but he is the kindest, nicest person ever.
Right, CJ. I get that.
What?
I'm generalizing. I realize you don't listen to my podcast regularly, which is okay. I generalize a lot. So no, when I said I think everybody believes there's a higher power, I'm generalizing when I say that.
What does that say? We're asking how you know.
So,
this is the same point.
I don't.
Human and animal sacrifices.
Right.
That's not a hint to a higher power that likes.
And you know what, Travis? Listen, here's the deal. That's okay. What Suzanne and I are trying to have a conversation about is intention. It's about being good to other people, recognizing that we all have negative emotions. That's okay. It's understandable that we get mad at each other, we get jealous of each other. Those are all natural emotions. But in the end, what's important and what we're trying to move forward is a conversation about being loving towards one another, understanding that we have differences, but still, right. And for you, if that's okay, if that's how you do it. Oh, he's saying, but we don't need. I'm so sorry because I always think I'm the important one here. I apologize, Travis. No. If that's how it works for you, that's fine. That's how.
We don't need to add supernatural.
But right, that's how Suzanne and I do it. That's how in our minds we do it. Not everybody does it that way. Not everybody believes that there's a higher power. Not everybody believes that there's a God. So ultimately,
it's just really about being a good.
Can your minds change? Of course. I believe anything is possible and anything can change. Yes. But we should be loving towards one another and understanding, respectful. I don't know. It would depend at that point in time. I keep doing this, Travis. I'm so sorry, Rod. I'm like I just want to talk to Travis. So I don't know. Travis asked me what could change my mind. I don't know. It depends at that particular point in time when it occurs, and then I would talk about it and tell the world. And I'm going to answer one more question, which I see Michael's got here. It says, like myself, you respect others' beliefs. Do you care about what is true and what is not?
As long as it's good. We don't know what's true and what isn't. I'm psychic, I'm a medium. A lot of people think, I'm full of crap, but that's okay with me because I know what I believe. And I feel like I'm a good person. It's my truth. Exactly. Right. As long as I am not out killing and murdering and I'm evil, it's okay. It's okay what people do.
Right. And she's not saying she doesn't care about what people think. She's just saying that she accepts differences in what people think and what their opinions are. Does that make sense? Did I answer your question, Michael? I didn't fully understand it, so I apologize. No. Can you re-ask your question then? Why do people...
Because psychics.
Do I value truth? Yes, I value truth.
Because a lot of what psychics see, you can't actually prove, kind of with religion too. So I don't actually understand this, but it's not in front of us. You can't see it. We can see it, but you can't see it. And so people, if they can't see it, they don't believe it. And that's why I don't understand religion. A lot of people believe it, even though sometimes you can't see it. We've just heard about that it happened. It's written in the Bible, but we don't actually know if it happened.
Right.
Is it possible that psychics are
It's
telling
very
the truth?
okay.
Yeah,
Listen,
there
this
are
is
some
this is
psychics
going to go on for like 3 more
there
hours,
are
and I'm
some-
totally fascinated by all these
there are
questions.
some psychics
I swear to
that-
God, I'm loving all these questions. Here's the deal. No, Michael's asking a very interesting question. I swear to God, this is going to be the last one. Okay. And I know I said God. Don't be asking me, well, how do you have proof there's a God? Okay. So do you value truth over belief? I think that's a very interesting question because
Wow.
I see them as being very similar to one another. Because my belief
What I
is
gotta
my
think about
truth.
Yes. Yeah.
Does that make sense to you?
That's
So that's why we have to be understanding of one another because
Yes.
Suzanne's beliefs are her truth.
exactly.
And they may be completely different from one another, but I still love her and I still respect them.
as long as they're so we can all get along. As long as our truths are kind. As long as our intentions are in the right place.
For them.
Right. Well, and for others, so other people can live their life at peace too. So your intentions are not
Right.
bothering
I
other
mean, as
people.
long as your intentions aren't to sabotage other people.
bothering them
And that's
or
what we
killing-
say when as
yeah.
long as your intentions are right, that they're not there to
Let other
sabotage and
people
hurt
be.
other people.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how that can be. And I'm just going to put that out there, and I'm not going to, to me, this is stupid. And I'm literally using that word that I even have to clarify this. But it is crazy for anyone to think, when someone says, as long as, you're living your truth, then everything's okay. Your truth, we're not saying that if your truth is killing other people, that's okay.
No, as
Don't
long
read
as-
into that and don't come at
Yeah.
with me with that shit because that's not what we're saying.
As long as your truth is not hurting anybody.
Right.
And it's okay.
CJ, that is not what we're saying.
Well, tell them what they're saying. That you're having a conversation with yourself.
I keep having conversations with all these people. I don't ask anybody for money. No. CJ says, if the world is round and some Joe thinks it's flat, we're both right. Listen, if somebody wants to think the world is flat, go right on ahead. That's totally fine if that's what he wants to
Yeah,
think.
it's not going to change your world. You're still going to get up and curl your hair and
Right. Michael says, do you decide to believe something or are you driven to a conclusion by evidence or others convincing you to believe something? I am...
It's different for everybody.
You're right. That's different for everybody. So, and I think that both of those things, those things happen in my life because sometimes I have to just to decide to believe in something regardless of having any evidence that it's going to happen. And that would be what I talked about earlier, which is blind faith, which sometimes we all have to have. So, all right, we're going to be done. I actually have really, really, really enjoyed having this conversation with you guys.
Thank you,
seriously,
everybody.
I love the fact that we have opinions from, Travis to CJ, to Michael and Amanda. I love being challenged. So
yes, keep the comments
Yes.
coming in, please.
it's totally fantastic. Oh, and somebody's alarm is going off out on the street. So thank you again, everybody. I really do
you.
appreciate
Love
it.
you all.
Love all of you very, very much. And I'll be back.
Okay,
Yes, I love you too, Suzanne. Thank you. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.